rage called civil forfeiture. Say the sponsors, by abolishing civil forfeiture, Vermont can ensure that innocent people, especially the indigent, are guaranteed their right to counsel and have the chance to get their property back. If enacted, our bill would require a criminal conviction for all forfeiture cases, except for a few narrow exceptions, such as when an owner has died or been deported. Civil forfeiture occurs when the police make an arrest and lay their hands on anything belonging to the arrestee that could conceivably be used to aid their illegal activity. If the charges are dropped or the arrestee is acquitted, the person guilty of no crime is entitled to recover confiscated property. The government doesn't want to let go of the cash, car, or even home. The owner has to hire a lawyer and wage a lengthy and costly battle to get back their property that the cops took. Totally unjust. Last year, Maine became the 4th state to replace the civil forfeiture process with criminal forfeiture, joining Nebraska, New Mexico, and North Carolina. It's time Vermont joined the list by enacting House 533, the Loeffler-Rachelson bill, before one more innocent person has to wage a legal battle to get back their cash, car, or other property that the government took but has no right to keep. This is John McClory. Thanks for listening.
Hi, this is Dave Caterino, and I'm a hospice and palliative registered nurse at Central Vermont Home Health and Hospice. I'm also a longtime resident of the Mad River Valley and an avid skier. I am thrilled to share that Central Vermont Home Health and Hospice is hosting the 34th annual Chez Henri Cup on Saturday, March 5th at Sugarbush Resort. An entry fee of $40 gets you access to our timed ski race plus one raffle ticket. Additional raffle tickets are $40 for one, 3 for $100, and 5 for $150. We'd like to thank our many local businesses for donating some great prizes to our raffle, and to Lawson's Finest Liquids for being our event sponsor. Register to race and to buy raffle tickets online at www.cvhhh.org. We thank you for your support, and we look forward to seeing you on the slopes on Saturday, March 5th.
Support for this portion of WDEV's programming comes from My Choice Pharmacy. My Choice Pharmacy offering back, knee, ankle, wrist, and neck braces. More information can be found by calling 844-598-6639. That's 844-598-6639.
Northfield Savings Bank is proud to sponsor WDEV at 90. Whether you're a builder, a maker, or a doer, at Northfield Savings Bank, we are proud to be the bank for Vermonters and Vermont businesses. Find out more about us at nsbvt.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Just because you're away from your radio or out of our broadcast range doesn't mean you have to miss out. Listen live on the WDEV stream, brought to you by AARP Vermont. WDEV's morning, midday, and afternoon news services, Vermont Viewpoint, and the Brady Farkas Show can all be found on the WDEV stream at WDEVradio.com. Brought to you by AARP Vermont, working to bring down the cost of prescription drugs for all Americans. AARP.org/VT.
Support for this portion of WDEV's programming comes from ProCare Biomedical. ProCare Biomedical, offering back, knee, ankle, wrist, and knee braces. More information can be found by calling 844-598-6639. That's 844-598-6639.
The Brady Farkas Show is produced and funded by WDEV and the Radio Vermont Group. We welcome listener feedback. Email your comments to wdev@radiovermont.com.
The teams you care about.
When you think about the Patriots' needs this offseason, look for one trait: explosiveness.
The stories that matter to you.
I'm not convinced that Ben Shungu, that he's not the league player of the year.
This is your home for New England sports.
Bobby Dahlbeck playing third base this year? Now that is interesting.
This is the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
What's up, everybody? Brady Farkas Show on a Tuesday on WDEV AM and FM and WDEVradio.com. Change of plans, okay? Swift last-minute change of plans. We're only on the air until about 6:15 today. Reason why: high school basketball schedule has changed on us at the last second. Montpelier and Spalding girls are going to play, but they're going to tip off at 6:30 instead of 7 o'clock. So we're off the air at about 6:15. Brent Curtis will be on the call then. So we got a lot of stuff here. We're going to condense into about 45 minutes only. UVM men's basketball suffers its first conference loss of the season last night on the road at Hartford. Former UVM hoops coach Tom Brennan is going to stop by with us at 5:45. We got some notes to get to on various other things, and now I got to see exactly what we can get into the show today, because the time we've had a half hour lopped off here. But TB is going to be with us in 15 minutes. The Napa Morrisville, Napa Waterbury text line is open as always, 802-585-3026. Your locally owned Napa stores in Waterbury and Morrisville, and also on Facebook Live. The crew is watching, so you can check us out there again on Facebook Live on the WDEV Facebook page and get your comments in there as well.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And here we go.
And the opening thoughts on the Brady Farkas Show are brought to you by Sticks and Stuff and by Swanton Lumber, Vermont's most complete locally owned home center. Locations in Enosburg, Derby, Middlesex, St. Albans, and at Swanton Lumber. They're online at sticksandstuff.com. Josh McDaniels did the exact thing I said he shouldn't do. Josh McDaniels, when he left to Vegas, did the exact thing that I warned against, railed against, and said that he shouldn't do. What did I tell you all 2 weeks ago? That if Josh McDaniels went to the Raiders, he should not take high-level Patriot staff members with him. And what did he do? He took high-level Patriot staff members with him. Josh McDaniels took 3 more Patriots coaches with him to Vegas. He stole the Patriots wide receivers coach, the Patriots offensive line coach, and the assistant quarterbacks coach. That's not right. And that should not, and I'm sure does not, sit well with Bill Belichick. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking to me that, so what? It's not a big deal. McDaniels only has to answer to himself and to the Raiders, and he's got to do what's best for him. That's what you're all thinking, and I'm here to tell you that you are wrong. And I guarantee you that Belichick thinks this is wrong too. Every single situation is different, and every single circumstance is unique. There's plenty of situations where I'd say screw it, doesn't matter, screw the guy on the way out the door. This is a situation where it does matter. We know 100% for a fact, unequivocally, that coaches stealing coaches is a huge pet peeve of Bill Belichick. He said this a few years ago in that documentary that came out about him and Nick Saban. He said that very same thing. I'll find you the exact quote. I have it written here. Here's the exact quote. Bill Belichick, I think this thing came out like 2.5 weeks ago or so. 2.5 weeks ago. Or 2.5 years ago, rather. I'm trying to find it. I had it written down perfectly, and here we go. This is it. So here's Belichick from a couple of years ago. Look, I'm happy for the people who have worked hard for me to get opportunities, and I want to see them build their own program. When they try to tear down our program, that's kind of where I cross the line. Without really talking about it, we've always kind of had that kind of respectful relationship. So we know that stealing coaches on your way out the door is a huge pet peeve of Bill Belichick, and McDaniels did it anyways. McDaniels he of course knows this is a pet peeve of Belichick, and he should have respected it. Again, every situation is unique, every circumstance is different, but this particular situation, Josh McDaniels should have assembled his staff from elsewhere. Josh McDaniels owes Bill Belichick everything, and he screwed him. And that is wrong. And I bet you Belichick is PO'd about it, and he should be. Bill Belichick was unbelievably loyal to Josh McDaniels, and Josh McDaniels should have honored that loyalty on the way out the door. Instead, he spat on it. Bill Belichick gave Josh McDaniels his first chance in the NFL in the early 2000s. So Josh McDaniels literally owes Bill Belichick his NFL career. But if you don't even want to go back that far, when Josh McDaniels left the first time, went to Denver and flamed out, and then went to the Rams, who welcomed him back? Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick gave him his first chance in the NFL, and Bill Belichick gave him his second chance in the NFL. And after Josh McDaniels screwed the Indianapolis Colts, Bill Belichick gave him his third chance in the NFL. He helped Josh McDaniels repair his image not once but twice. And Josh McDaniels screwed him on the way out the door. That I have a humongous problem with. If he worked for the guy for a year, I'd say, so what? Every man for himself. This is not that situation. Bill Belichick is your mentor. You know this better than anybody. You have watched coaches leave for years. You know exactly how Bill Belichick feels about this, and you went and did the one thing that he is super against. That is not right. I told you 2 weeks ago, McDaniels shouldn't take coaches with him. He took himself plus 3 more. That is a huge disservice to the Patriots, and now the Pats have to replace more than half of their offensive coaching staff because there's the 3 McDaniels took, McDaniels himself, that's 4, and Ivan Fears, the running back coach, is probably going to retire. So that is 5 coaches that need replacing on the offensive side of the ball. That is not something that I'm okay with. It's the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. What are people coming back to, what are people saying here on the Napa-Morrisville, Napa-Waterbury text line? Let's see. Joe says, I hope that comes back to bite McDaniels. He won't last more than 2 years with the Raiders anyways. He shouldn't be an NFL head coach. That's what Joe says. We get a text in also that says, you're right, but it's business. In today's business climate, anything goes. No. I mean, apparently anything goes, but anything shouldn't go. You don't screw people who have helped you massively along the way. That's not how business is done. Josh McDaniels has a bad reputation in a lot of circles in the NFL because of what he did in Denver and what he did in Indianapolis. This is an extension of that bad reputation. Josh McDaniels has spent a lot of time trying to rehab his image. This is the antithesis of rehabbing his image. The guy who gave you everything and did it on multiple occasions, you stabbed in the back. I'm not okay with that. I am not okay with that. If you are going to leave the Patriots, that's one thing. Go set up your own shop. And you want to beat Bill Belichick, beat him all you can. But don't beat him with his own guys like that. Don't beat him with his own guys like that. Take from somewhere else. Take from somewhere else. Develop your own coaching tree. Don't take from Bill Belichick's. Virginia says, what about the coaches that decided to leave? Do you blame them? I'd be interested in what those conversations were like. Yeah, Virginia, that's a good question. Blame the coaches? No. I want to know why they left, though, because they didn't all get massive promotions. I did say this a few weeks ago, that if Josh McDaniels was going to take, lower-level people and he was going to elevate massively with promotions, then I would have been okay with that. But that didn't really happen here. The wide receivers coach, Mick Lombardi, he became the Raiders' offensive coordinator. That's a massive promotion. I can get behind. I can reconcile that. That's a huge promotion. Positional coach to offensive coordinator. The other guys left for lateral moves. Offensive line coach to offensive line coach. Assistant quarterbacks coach to quarterbacks coach, of which, it's a slightly better title, but McDaniels, the head coach, he's going to be working with the quarterbacks anyway, so basically, you're still the assistant. These guys didn't get massive promotions, except for one of them. So I don't know what their rationale is. And maybe McDaniels promised them something. Maybe McDaniels offered them raises. All of that might be true. But the one thing we know about Bill Belichick is that he is not okay with you tearing down the fabric of his program. Virginia answers back and says the answer to all of your questions is money. I don't know that. Maybe. If they offered the offensive line coach $1 million instead of $400,000, then fine. But we don't know that. All I know now is the principle of the thing, and Belichick is not okay with it, and this is not the way that business should be done. When people help you out, you do not spit in their face. You don't. I got offered. I took a job. My first job in Burlington. I took a job. I took the job in Burlington. 4 months later, I had a job offer to go to a much bigger market. I stayed in Burlington. Why? In part because I was loyal to the people that gave me a chance, and I didn't want to screw them. You don't screw people who give you everything, and Josh McDaniels literally has been made by Bill Belichick. Phil on the text line, I agree with you about McDaniels. He's showing his real colors. Frank says, I bet McDaniels did not get a Valentine's Day card from Belichick after this one. This is not a good thing from Josh McDaniels. If he's going to go to the Raiders, go to the Raiders. Set up your own shop, but develop your own staff. He didn't take massive amounts of Patriots staffers to Indy with him. And McDaniels knows better than anybody how Belichick feels about this. Brian Flores took Patriot staffers. I'm sure McDaniels was in the room when Belichick was unhappy about that. Matt Patricia didn't take Patriot staffers to Detroit. I'm sure that McDaniels was in the room for those conversations. He knows exactly what he was doing, and he's got to know that what he did was wrong. All right, we got time for one more message here. Carmen in Duxbury on the Napa-Morrisville, Napa-Waterbury text line. What do we know about Joe Judge's role with the offense at this point? Is he going to be the offensive coordinator to replace McDaniels? We don't know much about him at this point. We don't know much about what Joe Judge is going to be doing. All we know is that it's going to be an offensive consultant's job. Phil Perry of NBC Sports Boston, ironically enough, this weekend had a little more on Joe.
I'm not ruling out a more experienced coordinator. To me, and just from people that I've spoken to around the league, it's almost unfathomable that Joe Judge would be running the offense. He's never coached the quarterback position. He's never called plays offensively. And again, I bring this up to coaches in other areas, and they say, well, no way. It can't be that.
Yeah, look, that's good for me to hear. I don't want Joe Judge as the offensive coordinator. Another eye in the sky, another voice in the room, another guy with eyes on tape, that's all well and good. A guy who's a sounding board for Belichick, who Belichick trusts, that's more than fine. You need an experienced offensive coordinator, an experienced offensive mind, because you need somebody who can step up with Mac Jones on day one and know what the hell they're doing. And I don't know that Josh McDaniel, or that Joe Judge, rather, is that guy. So I have no interest in Joe Judge being the offensive coordinator. Be on the staff all you want, but I'm happy that Phil Perry says he's hearing that's not likely. All right, Brady Farkas Show here on WDEV. Again, condensed show today, now only up until 6:15 because of high school basketball. So the game between Montpelier and Spalding on the girls' side has been moved at the last minute. So it's now a 6:30 tip-off. UVM men's basketball suffers its first loss of the conference season last night against Hartford on the road, 75-74 in overtime. Big deal, little deal, no deal at all. Former Catamount Hoops coach Tom Brennan answers that and more next on DEV.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Dell Technologies President's Day business sale has arrived. For a limited time, save up to 45% on all our latest gear to work from anywhere with fast free shipping. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business, so now's the time for incredible savings on PCs, along with servers, monitors, and docks, all with free shipping and quick installation and setup through Dell Installation Services. Get started by shopping online or contacting your Dell Technologies advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. Again, the number to call is 877-ASK-DELL.
WDEV at 90 is brought to you in part by New England Municipal Resource Center, NEMRIC, with a belief that local businesses like WDEV build strong communities.
Folks with inventory issues still affecting dealers across our industry, at Lamoille Valley Ford, we have found the solution for getting you into a new vehicle. Tell them, kid.
Thanks, Dan. At Lamoille Valley Ford, we're ready for retail. That's right. We are ready to retail order your new Ford today at Lamoille Valley Ford. With our high-volume sales history, there's no better dealership to custom order your new Ford car, truck, or SUV. We are prioritizing your personalized vehicle and doing whatever we can to expedite delivery so you don't have to wait any longer than you have to. And get this, when you retail order from Lamoille Valley Ford, we will discount your order an additional $1,000. Combine that with huge Ford discounts and incentives, you can take up to $6,000 off a retail ordered F-150. That's huge. Need a vehicle today? No worries. At Lamoille Valley Ford, we have by far Vermont's largest selection of new Fords, including over 150 F-Series trucks in stock and incoming.
Woo! So drive Route 14, 15, or 16 to Lamoille Valley Ford in Hardwick and save big during our Ready for Retail sales event.
Think you know sports better than Brady does? Text in with your thoughts at 802-585-3026.
He led Vermont to its greatest win in program history.
My goodness! Sorrentine hit that one from the parking lot.
He's the architect of the Catamounts basketball program.
Vance Jennings, UVM.
And he's with us now. It's time for our weekly talk with former UVM basketball coach Tom Brennan on the Brady Farkas Show.
On WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
Welcome back in, Brady Farkas Show right here on a Tuesday on WDEV AM and FM and WDEVradio.com. I want to welcome in now former UVM Hoops coach Tom Brennan. TV, before we get to the game, I want to put a bow on the previous discussion that I was just having here. So, Josh McDaniels, Patriots offensive coordinator, he just became the new head coach of the Vegas Raiders. And in doing so, he took 3 Patriots staffers with him to Vegas. If you are a head coach who has an assistant leave for his own job, and then he takes some of your other coaches with him, how do you feel?
Well, it's a tough call. It's a really tough call, Brady. And let's not be too sure that he won't be back in 2 weeks. You know, he screwed a lot of people before. Guys took jobs and everything else. You know, so I don't know. I really, myself personally, I'm a big Belichick fan, and obviously what he's done. But I've never been a big McDaniel fan, and he blew it up in Denver. He was terrible in Denver. So I don't think there's any reason to think that he's going to save the world out there in Vegas. But that being said, you really have to be secure in your own skin to say, go ahead, take whatever you need, take what you need from the pantry. But on the other hand, you never want to keep guys from advancing in the business. So it's kind of a tough call. And if you're Belichick, you know, he'd have Brady, he's got to have 35 guys that would want to be, what do they call them? Not assistants now, administrative guys or whatever the hell they call them. You know, he's going to have a lot of guys that would do that. So I don't think he'll ever hurt for getting good coaches. But it does break you up a little bit. There's no doubt about it. And you know, so now we'll see how fast Matt can come along, if he can come along as fast as cool Joe Burrow did.
Well, a good end to that discussion. Now let's get to the game itself last night. UVM loses first time in the conference season. They're now 12-1. They lose 75-74 overtime on the road at Hartford. They're still going to win the conference in the regular season. They're still going to be the top seed in the America East tournament. So how do you view the loss? Is it a relief that you're not chasing perfection? Is it the sky is falling? Is it somewhere in between?
I think it's in between. I don't think there's any, certainly not the sky is falling. I think this team has been so good for so long that I don't think one loss is going to affect them at all. The only pressure that our guys are going to feel, and obviously we killed for it back in the day, and you wanted it whenever you could get it, and that is home field advantage. So we're going to have 3 at home, it appears. It'd be very, very difficult for that not to happen. And if we're playing as we are capable of playing and we get everybody healthy, we're going to win those 3 games. I don't think there's a lot of people that don't believe that. But that being said, every year we know somebody goes to the damn tournament at 14 and 19, or one of those got hot for 3 days. So we are a tough team. We are tested. I don't think it's going to be an issue as long as we can get, of course, Finn and Ryan Davis back.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about them. You played that game last night without Finn Sullivan, who got injured against Albany. You played for the second straight game without Ryan Davis, the reigning Conference Player of the Year. How worried are you right now about their health, especially Davis?
Well, I'm certainly I love Finn to death, but I'm worried more about Davis, to be honest with you. But I think he's going to be fine. I think it's obviously the kid loves to play, so it's got to be something that the reason he's not. And knowing, like I said, that we could have clinched it on this week. So that scares me a little bit. But my sense is, Brady, if he gets the rest, a week, 10 days, whatever it might be, and can come back healthy and ready to go for the playoffs, then I think that'll be a good thing. And I think that's what is going to happen. And again, we got the best all-around guard, and we got the best big man in the league. And if you got that, we got the best coach. So if you got that going for you, you're in pretty good shape. And that's where we are right now.
Every broadcast that I listen to, every opposing broadcast I listen to doing a UVM game, the announcers always refer to Ryan Davis as the best player in the league. And the reason why is because he's the reigning Conference Player of the Year. I'm really not sure that Ben Shungu is not the Player of the Year this year. Number one, I think he might be the best all-around player in the league. And then two, the longer Davis doesn't play, how much does lack of ability to play the entire league schedule weigh into that kind of debate?
You're right on it. I mean, it shouldn't weigh a great deal unless a guy on your team has clearly emerged as what you were last year. And Benny has done that. There's no doubt about it. Now, Ryan's been great too. Can't take it away from him. But I don't think there'd be anybody, certainly not in Burlington, and I don't even know around the league, that would say if Benny got the MVP instead of Ryan, that they would say, how could that happen? That's not right. I certainly think he can become the MVP, or could be the MVP easily, or it might even be Co. I don't know if they'll do that, but they are, to me, now, we got a whole court. That's what we need to do. But like I said, if you got the best players and the best coach, then you like your chances.
Former UVM Hoops coach Tom Brennan with us here as always on a Tuesday on the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV.
Hey, one thing.
Okay, what's up? What do you got?
I can't believe I didn't open with this. We were 19-4. We lost to Hartford. The Cats, right? 19-4 or 20-4?
24.
Lost to Hartford. It's making me a little nervous. Just making me a tad nervous. Just let me say that.
And what year are you talking about? You give me
2004 or 5.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah, we won all those games in a row, and we went down. And I remember, I'll never forget, they had a kid named Charles Ford, and he would not shut up. And then you had to go. A guy named Harrison was their coach, who's now at West Virginia. And so, but at Hartford, everybody has to go the same way, So into your locker room, it's a long walk, and it's way in the back and way around. And so we had to walk back there with those guys, and they were just chirping and overrated and streak. Oh man, it not even so much that we lost the streak, but I will never forget that. All how they rubbed our nose in it, and we had to live with that. But that being said, all's well that ends well. Yeah. I hope it's the same for our team.
Yeah, if this loss to Hartford spurs the kind of year that you had in 04-05 after loss to Hartford, I think everybody would certainly sign up for that. TB, I got to ask you about the style of play last night. Davis doesn't play, so you're out the big man. I think UVM takes 60 shots last night. 32 of them are threes. And I'm thinking to myself, if we get into an NCAA tournament or a conference tournament game and Davis goes to the bench with foul trouble early in the first half, is this the kind of game that we're going to play with Davis not on the floor? Does that worry you to be that dependent from three, or is that just what you have to do if Davis isn't there?
Well, first of all, you can make the argument that TB was coaching that team.
Yeah. That was your style.
It certainly was. And I just, I put this in the aberration bucket. We do what we do. In the first game, Davis didn't play. And 10 years of Duncan's, never a day of disappointment. That's my new theme. 10 years of Duncan's, not a day of disappointment. And so we get Robin in there, and he plays great. It was like magic against the Sixers. And so, and I'm thinking, oh, well, is that what we're going to do? I don't really know. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're not a good enough three-point shooting team to rely on it. I think that's a safe way to put it. I mean, we're going to have our nights where we move it around and we get some open threes. But really, where we beat people, in my estimation, is we get 5 or 6 layups a game that are just boom, 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 layup. We just do that every game. Or we get wide open 15-footers, not necessarily threes. We're okay shooting the three. We're certainly not a great three-point shooting team. Oh, and let me ask you this: how about Cam Gibson back from the dead?
Yeah, I was gonna.
Amazing. We've had 6 guys that have done that this year.
I was going to ask you about Cam Gibson. Look, he had 18 points off the bench. He had he started, but like you said, kind of off the bench permanently where he's been. He had 5 threes yesterday, I believe. So, how do you handle his playing time moving forward? Because he's shown that
Let me tell you a great story. This is a great Cam Gibson story. Okay, after every game, I go in the locker room that we win. I go in the locker room and I always say, we beat those boys from wherever. And then the kids all say, like they stole something from our mama. Now, I've been doing it for 8-10 years, whatever it is. And we've all kind of gotten into it. And so, but then what I do, a little secret, I go up and high five everybody. And I pay particular attention to the guys that play well. And I pay particular attention to the guys that didn't play particularly well, just kind of get a read on them. And this kid is the first one. Sullivan's on this side when I get to the end, and Gibson is on this side. And every game, and I say to him, we need you. We're going to need you. We're going to need you. And he said, I'm good. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. And every game, I thought to myself, it's just the way it is here. So we're going to need this guy to be good at some point in time. And sure enough, they put him in for garbage time the other day. He got like 11 points in 2 minutes, right? And whatever the last home game was. And now he goes off last night. So what it tells me is that, again, Becker has the touch where they're all bought in. If you need me, I'm ready. And if you don't, okay, I'll live with it. So, but Cam, and I watched that guy every time, and I thought, and he went like, didn't play at all. And I'm thinking, I'm reading him. I'm thinking, how is he? How's he? And he was just great. I was so impressed with him. And it's great to see him come back around and be a big part of who we are, because that'll be wonderful if he can do that down the stretch.
Well, we'll see what happens. They're going to take on UNH coming up on Wednesday. It's a tough 3 games in 5-day stretch, all on the road. We knew it was going to be tough. You said last week that it was going to be a tough stretch. I thought last night had the potential to be a speed bump for this team, and it ended up being just that. We'll see if they can rebound on Wednesday against the Wildcats as they finish off the 3-game road swing. So, former UVM Hoops coach Tom Brennan with us every single Tuesday here on the Brady Farkas Show. TB, do you got a poem today, or are we cutting you down?
Next week,
all right.
I promise.
All right. So, TB, we'll talk again in 7 days. Poem in hand.
Boy. Thank you for the opportunity. Always love spending time with you.
Love spending time with you, too. Tom Brennan, former Catamount Hoops coach, with us here on the Brady Farkas Show. Look, here's the deal. High school basketball is coming up with coverage now at 6:15. So we're going to step aside, get the national news update from CBS News. And then when we come back, my quick reaction to what TB had to say. The sky is not falling because of UVM's loss last night, but make no mistake, last night's loss is a huge deal, and it may have huge consequences. I'll tell you why. That's coming up next after the CBS News update here on the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, WDEVradio.com, and always streaming on the free WDEV radio app. That's right, 100% free. Download it, Apple Play Store, Google Play Store, and take us anywhere.
This is WDEV, Vermont's news station, owned and operated by the Radio Vermont Group. From the top of Sugarbush, 96.1 FM, WDEV Warren and Waitsfield, 96.5 W243 Barrie, 98.3 W252 CU Montpelier, along with our founding station, AM 550 WDEV Waterbury Montpelier, streaming at WDEVradio.com. 90 years of serving Vermont, the friendly pioneer, WDEV.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Dell Small Business.
I'm Matt Piper in New York. An invasion remains distinctly possible, but there's still room for diplomacy. That from President Biden today, talking Russia-Ukraine from the White House following his weekend call with Vladimir Putin.
The president assured the nation that while his administration is continuing to pursue a diplomatic approach, it is ready to respond either way.
We are ready to respond decisively to Russian attack on Ukraine, which is still very much a possibility.
Mr. Biden says while Russia claims it is removing some troops from the border with Ukraine, his administration has not yet confirmed that. The president says if Russia invades Ukraine, the human cost would be immense. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
And analysts fear an invasion could send gas prices to more than $5 a gallon in some areas. President Biden even warns energy prices could rise too. CBS's Errol Barnett has more numbers.
The main cause of this recent jump is the high cost of crude oil, and Russia produces more than 1/10 of the world's oil supply. So, of course, any military action by Russia in Ukraine could send the price of oil well over $100 per barrel.
Lots of trials in the news today. A jury finds Sarah Palin did not prove her defamation case against the New York Times. Legal analyst Laurie Levinson on why that might be.
The standard for suing the New York Times, if you're a public figure like Sarah Palin, is not simply to show that they made a mistake, but rather in order to protect First Amendment rights, she had to show that they acted with malice.
In Connecticut, 9 families of victims in the Sandy Hook school shooting from 10 years ago have settled a multi-million-dollar lawsuit with Remington, which made the rifle used in that shooting. Hannah Davino lost her sister, Rachel.
What she went through was brutal. The medical examiner could not be certain if she was shot 9 or 11 times due to ricochets and re-entry wounds. And this was only her second week of school.
The family of Helena Hutchins, the cinematographer killed on the Alec Baldwin movie set Rust, is suing him and others, saying the set was just too dangerous. And Prince Andrew settles his sex assault case against his accuser, Virginia Giuffre. All eyes will be on women's figure skating tonight. More on the short program from our Steve Futterman at the Olympics.
Did she do anything to quell the controversy? I don't really think so. Those who feel that she should not even be participating in the Olympics are not going to be swayed by her excellent performance. And those who feel that she should be competing are still going to feel that way. So I don't think her performance changes anyone's point of view as to whether or not she should even be in these Olympics.
The Olympics end Sunday, this Sunday. The Dow gained 423. The Nasdaq was up 349. S&P gaining 69. This is CBS News.
It's time for Dell Technologies President's Day deals on business PCs. Call 877-ASK-DELL. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business.
WDEV at 90 is brought to you in part by New England Municipal Resource Center, NEMRIC, proudly supporting local government, local businesses, and WDEV.
When it comes to your health and wellness, finding information and answers can be overwhelming. Join Dr. Lewis Myers for Healthcare Today, Fridays at 1. Brought to you in part by Age Well Vermont, the leading experts and advocates for older adults in northwestern Vermont, and Westview Meadows and the Gary residents, retirement living the way it's meant to be. This is your opportunity to pose questions to the professionals. Healthcare Today, Fridays at 1 on WDEV AM and FM and streaming at WDEVradio.com.
Wintertime means savings time at the Willie Store in Greensboro. Their annual store-wide clothing and footwear sale takes an extra 20% off already marked down items, and footwear is reduced by 20, 30, even 50% while supplies last. February 16th through the 22nd, shop the Willie Store's frozen fish sale and save 25% off select Jasper Hill cheeses. Puzzles, board games, calendars, magnets, 25% off at the Willie Store. Now open weekends 10 to 6 in Greensboro.
School vacation is coming. Looking for something fun to do with the kids? Check out the Trading Post online marketplace for great deals on fun ways to keep the kids entertained. Get a $25 gift certificate to Valley Bowl in Randolph for $20. A $50 gift certificate to Twin City Family Fun Center for $40. And a Modio Rec 1-year family membership valued at over $500 is just $350. Find a full listing of these deals and more at WDEVradio.com.
Your chance to be part of the show is on the text line at 802-585-3026.
Now it's back to the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
Welcome back in. Brady Farkas Show right here on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. The show ends in 10 minutes. Reason why high school basketball comes. So this has been a weird day. It's been a weird, we deal with this all the time in radio, Red Sox rain delay or something, NASCAR rain delay. We see this all the time where you either have to all of a sudden talk way more than you were expecting or all of a sudden talk way less than you were expecting. I had a full, great show planned today, and it's mostly out the window because of high school basketball time change here at the 11th hour. But Montpelier and Spalding on the girls' side, they'll be coming up in about 10 minutes. It's a 6:30 tip-off, 6:15 with the pregame show, and our guy Brent Curtis is on the call. I just had on UVM Hoops coach, the former UVM Hoops coach, Tom Brennan, and TB said that last night's loss against Hartford is not a sky-is-falling moment. And I'll say this. It may not be a sky-is-falling moment, but it's a huge deal. It's a bigger deal than anybody realizes or anybody wants to admit. You just lost to a team that is 6-16 coming into that game. I am focused on one thing, and one thing only now when it comes to this UVM Hoops team. I am focused on the NCAA tournament and NCAA tournament seeding. And losing to a 6-16 team cannot be good for tournament seeding. In fact, it's got to be horrible for tournament seeding. If Vermont is going to have a realistic chance at winning an NCAA tournament game, they need to be at least on the 13 line. You have to find a way to get to the 13 line. And that loss yesterday, that's the kind of loss that can drop you to the 14 line. And I don't think I'm being melodramatic, and I don't think I'm overstating it. Look, for the conference, it doesn't matter. UVM's going to win the conference. They're going to get the number one seed. They're going to have home court advantage, and they're going to have a great opportunity to win the conference tournament. I had already banked on all that stuff. That stuff is no longer important to me. I am interested now in the NCAA tournament and winning a game in the NCAA tournament. And dropping a game to a 6-16 team that's under 500 in conference, that is not a good way to ensure me getting as good a spot possible in the tournament, as good a seed possible. This team, realistically, let's see, they're 12-1. There's 5 games left in the regular season. So I would say, if they win all that, they're going to be 25-4, and then you win. They would have been 26-4, and then they won 3 games in the tournament. They had a chance to finish 29-4, 29-4 in perfect in conference play. That could have gotten you a 13 seed. Now you can finish 28-5, and that's still great. But that one loss absolutely could be the difference. It absolutely could be the difference. And it's not a chance that I want to take. I want this team to get to the tournament and win a game. I love talking with TB. I love every week talking with TB and playing the clip from 04-05 and Sorrentine from the parking lot. There are people out. That was almost 20 years ago. It's time for this program to have another signature win. And I'm ready for that signature win to be now. And if you want that signature win to be now like I do, you need as many wins as possible, as high a seed as possible, and as favorable a matchup as possible. And losing to 6-16 teams does not ensure that. It does not help you in that cause. This team is so fun to watch, and it's such a unique circumstance, right? Where you have the transfer portal and the COVID year and veteran players, and Ben Chungu's 24 years old. You won't get this again easily. What they have right now, with all the age, all the experience, all the leadership, coupled with the transfer portal, this is not replicable, or at least easily. Like, you get Cam Gibson to come in, and you get Finn Sullivan to come in, and you got Benny still here. This doesn't happen again. Like, this is the chance. There have been other great Catamount teams the last couple of years. This team has a phenomenal chance to win a game in the tournament and to create a new memory. If you're tired of hearing only about 04-05 and the win over Syracuse, this is an opportunity to put that memory on the back burner and create a new one. And losing to Hartford doesn't help. You might think that I'm an idiot. You might think it's no big deal. It is no big deal for the conference. The conference no longer matters to me. They could sleepwalk through the next couple of weeks and win the conference and get the number 1 seed. That doesn't interest me anymore. What interests me is getting as many wins as possible and getting as good a seed as possible so I can go and create some real magic come March, and when one shining moment plays at the end of the NCAA tournament, that we're a part of it. That there's a household name that comes out of the tournament, and it's our guy. It's Ben Shungu. It's Justin Missoula. It's Ryan Davis. It's Robin Duncan. I want that to come for us and for those conversation points to happen here. And losing to Hartford and dropping down a spot to the 14 line, that's not what I want, because it's very, very hard to win. It's very hard to win an NCAA tournament game as an underdog, period. It's very hard to win it as a 13 seed. It's already a stretch. Dropping down further than that, it becomes nearly impossible. Catamounts have to continue to win. They cannot afford to falter from this point if they want to attain what I want them to attain. You've got to beat UNH tomorrow. You've got to beat, let's see who's left at that point. They've got another game with Maine on the road, not an easy place to go. You've got another game against UMass Lowell, as I remember off the top of my head. You've got to finish this thing. And you've got to roll through the conference tournament. And you've got to show that that was a major aberration last night and not something that should be holding you back. And my fear is that loss could hold you back. It's the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. Travis says you could argue that games like last night, that's why they shouldn't move up conferences. Look, I think last night had more to do with the fact that Ryan Davis didn't play. The reigning Conference Player of the Year doesn't play. Finn Sullivan, another starter, doesn't play. And you're in the middle game of a 3-game road trip, 3 games in 5 days. Last night was hard circumstances. I still think UVM is better. I still think UVM should have won. But I can rationalize what happened last night. Conference Player of the Year doesn't play. You're out 2/5 of your starting lineup. That's hard to do on the road, 3 games in 5 days. It's understandable that they lost. I don't think they should have, but it's understandable. So I don't know that last night matters in the grand scheme of whether they should or should not move conferences. It matters in terms of this year and their tournament chances in terms of getting the seed that I want them to get. All right, high school basketball is coming up next. It's Girls Hoops, Montpelier, and Spalding. The show brought to you by ProDriver Training, online at ProDriverCDL.com. TB, our full interview up on our podcast channel. Just search on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. I had a great show planned today, I promise. Now you're going to hear a lot of it tomorrow, and we'll talk with Tom Karen and Freddie Coleman tomorrow as well. So high school hoops, that's next here on WDEV AM and FM.
I'm Yvonne from VSECU, a credit union for everybody in Vermont. In the banking industry, the first few months of the year are focused on helping consumers consolidate debt, usually from the holidays because we've spent too much. Consolidating and transferring high balance cards to lower interest rate cards can be a smart move. At VSECU, we do it differently, though. We genuinely believe that we can use finance for social good. Our Vermont Platinum card offers an interest rate